Hello and welcome to this episode of Wooden Watch You Don't Need. This is part 1 of a 3-episode miniseries focusing on this watch, but also on this watch. In this first episode, we will discuss the features of this one and what watch is this one. Well, this is the Casio B-640 or 640, as you can see, and this particular version has the stainless steel bracelet and the case, which is resin, but it's chromed resin, and it has a very aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion, matte finish. So this is not your polished version that you will find on the A-168. Let me show you. So this is not the chrome version that you will find in the A-168. Can you see the difference? This one shines even though this watch is 11 years old, and the B-640 does not reflect life like as in the mirror finish. See, this is also the version with the positive display. I think I'm done with negative displays. The only one that I have bought so far is the W800H, and you can see the review of that watch somewhere in the channel. And let me tell you why I love this watch. Well, I love this watch for its looks. First of all, I was going to go for stainless steel bracelet Casio because after watching a lot of videos on the channel, Old Casio Collector, by the way, if you haven't, check it out. This guy has got a lot of beautiful, stunning pieces from the 1980s and 90s in perfectly mint conditions. Yes, I was saying, I was watching a lot of videos on vintage Casios, and the thing that bothers me is that their straps, even in their original box sometimes, their straps, which are made of resin or rubber, I don't know the exact definition, they tend to become stiff and maybe to crack or to get ruined in some way or another. So I'd say I want a watch to last for various decades, and stainless steel bracelets will do good for that reason. Whereas the case, in case it gets, oh sorry the pun, in case it gets ruined, one can always take the module away and give it a layer of primer and then some matte chrome varnish or paint, and that should do the job. This, as you can see, is your regular low quality stainless steel bracelet with folded steel by Casio. Let's have a look at the A-168 for comparison. I think they look quite similar. The back of the bracelet. Yeah, and also the front of the bracelet. I think they're the same exact bracelet. Same buckle, look very similar to me. This one is 11 years old. This one is brand new, but yeah, same bracelet. And then we can make a comparison of the size of the two watches. For some reasons, I think that the B640 fits better on my slim wrist. This one, the A168, let me show you, to me has always felt small. More than looked, has always felt kind of small. But as I was saying, the B640 somehow does not. And it does remind me a bit of the, the Hamilton, like one of the first digital watches. They reissued it a couple of years ago, the one with the red digits, which is not perfectly square. It has the rounded sides and then the straight upper and lower line. Yeah, maybe this one reminds me of that, but just I like the aesthetic of this one, of the dial. This is a 4-button watch with a 50-meter water resistance, and we know that in Casio terms this means that you can swim in the sea or in the swimming pool as much as you want, and maybe you can also do some non-extreme scuba diving with it and you'll be okay with it. But I don't scuba dive, so I will swim and not worry about this watch. And it has the illuminate feature, which the A158 and the A159 have not. This illuminator is different and, dare I say, less pretty than that of the A-168. The A-168 has a beautiful turquoise light with the electroluminescence that lights up the whole screen, like from the back. This one has a couple of LED, I think, and they're orange on the sides. Let me show you. Yeah, you can see if I turn the lights off, you will see it better. But I mean, for reading purposes, this is just fine. So if you have to read the time, look, this is a very powerful light and it stays on more than enough for you to read it. So all in all, aesthetically wise, this is, in my opinion, a very pleasing watch. Actually, I would say my usual line, this is a beautiful watch. What a beautiful watch. I like the strap. Oh, sorry, I like the bracelet. I like the case. But above all, I chose this because of the functions. You can see a lot of things going on in the display here. Now, let's try to adjust it, even though it is already adjusted. Okay, of course, you can adjust the seconds, the hour and the minutes, but look at this. 24 is the year 2024. This one has an automatic perpetual calendar that goes up to 2099. So you don't have to worry about leap years. You don't have to worry about anything. 99, see, and then it comes back. And let's put it back to 2024. Other things going on. Well, of course, this is the month, and then you have the day. If you're not a fan of the month-day format, you're just gonna have to live with it. There's no other date format on this watch. Then you have, of course, your day of the week, which automatically is calculated when you insert the year. You have something more. Let me grab my Spiadini stick. No, I don't have it. I'll have to do with a pencil. You have this, the alarm sign, the 24-hour sign, and this one. And let me show you about this. So we go to the following mode, which is alarm mode. We have this one here. And what is this? This is the illumination of the screen whenever a beeping signal of any kind is heard. So if you set your hourly beeping signal, then when the hour strikes, the display of the watch will light with the orange light. And if you set your timer or your alarms, when they go off and your beep is heard, the screen will also be lit with an orange light. And when it's the timer and the alarm, the display will be flashing orange. What's with these dashes up here? It's the very special alarm from which you can choose not only your time, your hour and minute, but also your month. So January, March, and so on and so forth until we get to December. If you set this first number to a certain month, the alarm will beep at the desired time all the days during that specific month. Now we put the month to 0. What if we go to the next set of dashes? You will see that there are 31 numbers to choose from. Yes, and if you choose that, your alarm will beep on that particular day every month of the year. Might be useful or not, I don't know, but it's just fun to know that you have this function here. Of course, if they're all blank, it will beep every day at the desired time. And yeah, that's that. That's a cool alarm, I think.
Oh yeah, and also let's notice this about the watch.
Then after the alarm, you have your timer. Now notice that when you're in timer mode and later on also when you're in stopwatch mode, your local time, your current time is always displayed, which for me is a really great function. So you can choose your hours, minutes, and also seconds. So you can set your timer for, I don't know, 30 seconds if you want. So let's put it to 0 minutes. 0 minutes, but how many seconds? 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. Down to 1 second, and you have your timer set. Then you see that you have your auto. And your auto means that when your timer goes off and it ends its countdown, it will begin counting down again automatically. And I have done a video on this particular feature of the timer when I spoke about the Casio G-Shock G2900. That is a cool feature. See, you can turn the auto timer on or off with this top right button. Yeah, that auto function of the timer is very useful if you're doing something like training imam every minute on the minute, for example, or well, whatever. If you have to remember to do something every 4 or 8 or whatever number of hours or minutes, then you turn your auto countdown timer on and it will start counting down again, and it will warn you again whenever that particular period of time has elapsed. And it will also flash if you set this magical thing on. After the timer, you have your stopwatch, and it's always with your current time displayed in the top right portion of the screen. I think that this is great. So to sum it up, you have the automatic perpetual calendar going up to 2099, counting leap years, and so you always have your month, day of the month, and day of the week displayed on screen. You have the fancy blinking light thing, and I like to have a very crowded yet always perfectly legible display on my Casio watches. You have your time always displayed in timer mode and in stopwatch mode. You have your fancy alarms, day of a single month, every day of a particular month, or just every day as you wish. This is really a great watch. It is very light. I will put the weight somewhere on the screen, but it is very light. I like the looks of it. It's original, as you can see, and you can tell from the screws cross, and when one of the slots is longer than the other. Really a beautiful watch. This is a watch that you don't need if you already have another watch specifically, and especially if you already have another Casio with the standard Casio functions. But if you don't have any other watch, or maybe if you want a more smart, a more elegant watch, this could be the choice for you. And as usual, please consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next episodes of Wooden Watch You Don't Need, where I will be comparing these two watches and these two watches and maybe other watches. Well, I hope I've said enough, but if I haven't, then not too bad, because I will have an excuse to make one more video. I'll see you on the next of Wooden Watch You Don't Need. Ciao.